Welcome to Off the Press and Plus TV Africa. My name is Felicity Ezewuike. Today is the 21st of May 2019 and it is the 16th day of the blessed month of Ramadan. Indeed, a time for reflection and celebration. We say Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers. Thanks for joining us. Today, I'm riding solo, at least for this segment. With your help, we get to know what's happening this morning. Your help is you stick with us and hear what's going on. We have a number of papers this day. We have Punch, we have The Nation, we have Vanguard, and a bit of sports. Our in-house analyst will be joining us a little later. So we'll start with the Punch newspaper. And of course, the picture here. It rained yesterday in Lagos, and we know what happens. The Punch captured the destruction across board. You see fallen trees, people trying to escape falling electric poles. You have cars floored. It's just captured all over. And the traffic, of course, when it rains in Lagos, it's heartbreaking to watch what happens. And that's what the Punch was able to capture this morning on the front page of the paper. Various parts of Lagos. That's it on your screen. Rain wreaks havoc on Lagos, Ogun, destroys buildings, others. You want to hear all the gory details, go to page 4 and 5 of the paper. And then the screamer this morning, just above those pictures, you will see doctors, nurses lament poor pay, overwork in state hospitals. Details of that story is on page 2. Let's see what's at the right-hand corner of the masthead. NNPC. $223 million account. FG fails to pay whistleblower. I wouldn't be happy if I was a whistleblower. That would change my life, certainly. Makinde promises to link infrastructure with economy. You find details of that on page 18. At the very top of the paper, you will see FG invites world leaders to maiden June 12 Democracy Day. That's all over the news. Lai Mohammed gave a press briefing on activities for the day. We'll definitely have our May 29 celebration, but as you already know, it's going to be very low key. The next headline there is National Assembly coverage. Outrage greets satanic guidelines for journalist accreditation. Now, I'm a journalist and I find the alleged guidelines quite stringent, so to speak. And of course, expectedly, reactions are coming. I'll take that headline again just for emphasis. National Assembly coverage. Outrage greets, in quote, satanic guidelines for journalist accreditation. All the juicy details is on page 14, but if you are not able to get the paper, please tune in for the news or have details of that for you then. And of course, we have experts fear recession as GDP growth drops to 2.01%. Details of that is on page 25. Let's see if there's any interesting thing on the bottom of the paper. Let's flip down there now and see. There you have it. Under the rain wreaks havoc. You have 2019 post. INEC withdraws, reissues 25 certificates of return. If you've been following our news, you've captured that. A lot of those were from the APC, a little from the PDP, and very few to other parties. Gunmen kidnap twins. One other in Ekiti demands 22 million naira ransom. Judge remands Naira Marley in prison. It's quite sad, really, that our nation is on the grips of kidnapping menace, banditry. There's a lot of concern going on about this, and we're hoping that our federal government will step up to the plate and address this issue. What are the root causes of kidnapping in this country? One cannot really point at one issue. There's a myriad of them. Quite sad. Gunmen kidnap twins, one other in Ekiti. Demand 22 million ransom. You're not worrying only about the money, you're worrying about the life of the people that have been kidnapped. We just pray that they get them back safely. Let's see what's on the back page before I jump away. We have lessons of history, King Jaja of Opobo. if you went to secondary school in Nigeria, you probably read the story of King Jaja of Opobo. If you want to hear what dimension it's taking this morning, go to the back page of the Punch newspaper for all the details. Tayo is talking lessons of history. Okay, we'll go away from the Punch now and see what this day has for us. Let's see what is captured. I'll go to the top of the paper. At the very top, we have FG, Nigeria safe for world leaders to attend Buhari's inauguration. Some people will take that with some skepticism, but the federal government is reassuring and we should take their word for it, I guess. NICAM raises insurance firms' operating capital by 200%. That's another one on page 7 of this day newspaper. And then we go just below the masthead of the paper. You see this one highlighted in, would I say this is yellow now? It said SEC probes MTN listing on stock exchange. It has one rider. That's it on your screen. Shareholders rake in 6.1 billion naira in one day as induced scarcity continues. Then they're still on a bit of business here. Nigeria's GDP shrinks to 2.01% in the first quarter of 2019. It has two riders. Oil production rises to 1.96 mbpd. Rwani, others seek economic plan. We see there's a picture on there. Something about all for wildlife. EFCC is also on the front page. We are investigating Okorocha, the governor of Imo State. Well, he will no longer be governor come 29th of May, but for now he's still the governor of Imo State, and he's lamenting that he's been witch hunted. Let's see what happens with that story. Go read details of what EFCC is saying inside page of page 7 of the paper. On the back of this day newspaper, we have Tuesday with Reuben Abate, and today it's promises and the future. Sanwo-Olu and other governors elect. Why is he emphasizing on Lagos State governor? You might want to go read details of that on this day newspaper. We move on to the Nation newspaper now. A couple of screamers here. The flood situation is also captured on the front page. That's it on your screen there. Floods, Lagos urges calm as heavy rains pound city. That's the right word. The Nation say pound the city. Traffic jams, stranded commuters as rain disrupt businesses. That's something for you on the front page. And at the very top of the paper, we have senators-elect split over Lawan Goje Ndume. Still on the National Assembly leadership tussle. And June 12th is captured on here as well. We have Captain Yadudu named fans MD, Tinubu to elites, shun insulting utterances. Well, we definitely hope to see an end to those utterances by our leaders. FEC OK's new AU import levies. Nigeria must respect Raul's choices. That's sports for you, football specifically. Again, there's a picture of the stormy day Lagos experienced yesterday. At the very bottom of the paper, we have insurance firms to recapitalize. NICAM issues 13-month deadline. A bit of business for you. And the controversial musician Naira Marley, in court, the court remands musician Naira Marley. His fraud trial begins. That's a picture of him being led away by security operatives in Lagos yesterday. Details of that story is on page 4. It's actually trending to some degree. The conversation is very rife as to Yahoo boys and, you know, fraud and cybercrime and all of that. The conversation is in the front burner again, and it's quite interesting, the perspective that is coming across in social media from the youths. You might want to go check on Twitter or any other social media platform to see some of these comments and make your own, you know, judgment, so to speak. All right, let's take a little of this one. Police flush out 29 suspected criminals, arms dealers in Oyo. That's at the very bottom of the Nation newspaper. We flip to the back now, where we have Louis Odion speaking on the hemp in Aketi's pockets at Kalo graveyard. Okay, that one is a little beyond me. So we'll have to go read details to know what this headline is about. It's on comment and debate, a usual column on the back page of the Nation newspaper. The hemp in Akete's pocket at Kalo graveyard. Okay, hardball is also on the back page. True color of a woman. What is the true color of a woman? I leave you to go find that out when you visit your vendor for the Nation newspaper. We've taken about 3 of that. Let's look at Vanguard now, and then we'll go on a break, for sports. Vanguard. First quarter 2019, and security elections slow economic growth to 2%. That's how the Vanguard is capturing that story today. We also have a Mechi can influence Igbo presidential future, but suspended Ohanese's scribe. He's still talking even though he's suspended. Go find who in the pages of the Vanguard newspaper. Page 15, actually. Rights lawyer at Degburua, 13 professors, 66 others for SAN award. 1 killed, 4 abducted in Nasarawa mob lynches kidnapper in Kaduna. And then investigates track NAS financial status, legislative aides beg NFIU. Okay, we also have the meeting between Buhari, Tinubu and the Sultan in Saudi Arabia. Appointments, Buhari favored South more than North. That's records. You might want to go find what that record is about. There's a graphical representation on the front page of the Vanguard that's showing on your screen right now. Mr. and Mrs. Kachun is also there. We'll get to that in a bit. Let's see what's at the very top. Why not a country where good people are not allowed to win elections by Patu Tome? You might want to go read that. Outrage rather, over NAS new stringent conditions for journalist accreditation. Even though the media aide to the Senate President has said the Senate President is unaware of this, apparently accreditation of journalists is not something that he is bothered about. So let's see what comes out of that one. On the back page of the Vanguard is the usual sports stories, but we'll just keep this Mr. and Mrs. Kachun for when we round off all the serious look at the headlines. You stay with us. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, sports will be with you. Stay with us. Very glad to know you're still with us. It's still Off the Press on Plus TV Africa. I'm being joined now by Samson Oloyede, our in-house sports analyst. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning. Good
morning to you. Complete sports is what we have today. And there seems to be a lot of big headlines. This one just caught my eyes because the figure 419 has a negative connotation around this part. Messi takes La Liga tally to 419, and it has a rider, finishes top scorer for the 3rd year in a row. Okay, Ighodalo set for Shanghai-Shenhua return. That's another one on your screen now. And if you go down a little, you will see a Tebo hints at Stoke City stay. We have Everton yet to decide on Onyekuru future. And then we have Nigerian ambassador visits Flying Eagles. That's Poland 2019 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. We'll catch this one. Derby County linked with another Nigerian. And of course, we have more transfer story on the back page of the paper. But let me just give you more time to. Which of these headlines for you is the screamer?
Well, let's start with Odion Gallo, set to return to Shanghai Shenhua. He's enjoyed his stint at China. He scored lots of goals, and when he went to China, he started off at Shanghai Shenhua, before leaving, and now he seems to have, a go back at that same club. I think it shows how settled he is in China, and he's proved himself over the last 3 years that he's been there. I think it's good for him that he still continues on that streak. But more importantly is for as regards the Nigerian football aspect, it gives us another advantage of seeing him continue his hot streak, with Chinese football in terms of banging in the goals, and it's definitely going to come good for us, at the African Cup of Nations. You mentioned Messi taking his La Liga tally to 419.
He better move it to 420 before people start looking at him.
He's been banging in goals for so long, and you look at his goals and the impact it had on the Real Madrid, Barcelona, I beg your pardon. You know quite well that without Lionel Messi, Barcelona would probably not be where they are at this point in time. In terms of the pinnacle of world football or club football, as it were. 3 years in a row, the Pichichi Award. The Pichichi Award is given to the highest goal scorer in Spain. He's set to win the European Golden Shoe again. He scored 36 goals this concluded La Liga season, and the only player that can stop him is Kylian Mbappe of PSG. But Mbappe has to score 7 goals. I don't think Mbappe will score that, lot over the last 2 games left in the French League 1. So I think Lionel Messi continues the stride. And it's impressive to see. He's in his 30s when, sportsmen are expected to be at the twilight of their careers, and he's still carrying on with, the red-hot form that we've seen him over the years. It's just impressive. He's one of a kind, one of a generation, will go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, in terms of world football. It's quite impressive to see. City, the story of, Etebo, hinting on Stoke City stay is also one that should appeal to Nigerian football fans, because Etebo is irregular in the Nigerian Super Eagles setup, and his stint at Stoke City last season in the Championship was quite commendable. He had an impressive run, so it's all about continuity for him, although you would expect him to step up to top-level football in terms of top-flight football, probably one of the mid-table clubs in the Premiership. Yeah, maybe not Everton, but likes of Newcastle, West Ham, they could really make do of his services at this point in time, especially considering the fact that Mark Noble, who is West Ham's captain, is in the 30s. Etebo can easily string in to the midfield there and, make things happen. Mbappe has been in the news for so long as regards his future. Real Madrid, he's been linked to Real Madrid as regards, making a move to the Bernabeu, and there were reports of £200 million and the rest. But just this morning, another news broke forth that he's set to stay put at PSG, and I think that will be good news for PSG, because having spent so much on him in terms of his transfer fee from Monaco to PSG, £165 million, and that's even after paying so much, for his loan deal at first. They definitely want to get so much from him before letting him go. But it depends again if the project at PSG is appealing to him. If it's not exciting, if it's not challenging to him, then he may want to move to Real Madrid, where there seems to be a big overhaul taking place in terms of the team. We saw Toni Kroos extend his contract yesterday. Mbappe coming on board would definitely mean that Benzema would get limited playing time, and with Gareth Bale set to leave due to a frosty relationship with the coach Zinedine Zidane, Mbappe could come good. But let's see how it is. It's still the transfer window. You never can tell which will go through. Paul Pogba would not leave as well.
Not the real deal.
Paul Pogba is not the real deal. Pogba would not leave. I don't think he would leave United this summer. If he's going to leave, definitely not Real Madrid. His inconsistent performances has not appealed to Real Madrid. They've lowered their price range over the days gone by. And from the headline there, the fans voted, the Real Madrid fans voted, and they don't want him there. They rated Christian Eriksen ahead of him. I don't think Eriksen would leave Spurs as well. I mean, Spurs have an exciting project. Now in the Champions League final, they have a new stadium, the new White Hart Lane. It's new times for them, and there's money to spend this time around, so they'll definitely recruit in the summer. I don't think Christian Eriksen would leave, but definitely Jokic has been signed. I think the next player that will be signed by Real Madrid has to be Eden Hazard of Chelsea.
A quick look at the back page of Vanguard Sports before we wrap things up. AFCON 2019, bomb-free backs Real to deliver in Egypt, and then Man United. Liverpool suffer blow at the, what's that? Delete chooses Barca. Well,
let me start with the AFCON 2019, headline. Bonfrey Joe, that's our former coach, backs Real to deliver in Egypt. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have a very easy group, no doubt about it. So let's take it a game at a time, get out of the group. it's very easy for us to even top the group, considering we have Guinea, Burundi, to contend with. When we get out of that group, then we get into the quarterfinals, and we take games one at a time. That way we would know where our strength lies. I do not think that we're among the top 3 favorites, to win the title. There's the host nation, Egypt, there. They were finalists last edition, losing to Cameroon. You have Cameroon, the defending champions, in the mix. There's Senegal with Sadio Mane, in the mix as well. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take it a game at a time, and then we can just make it happen. In terms of deletes, it's exciting for Barcelona because that's a 19-year-old who is very good, commanding of his pitch. But more importantly is his leadership qualities. We've seen him lead a very young Ajax side to great heights this past season. So I think it's a good one for them. He definitely will partner Piqué, and if Piqué decides to retire in the coming season, it's a very good replacement considering Piqué is 32.
Thank you very much, Samson, for coming on the program. Of course, that's about it. But before we go, let's take a look at this Mr. and Mrs. Cartoon on the Vanguard newspaper. You know how we do it. The husband is saying, "Did you hear what I said?" The woman asked her husband to shut up in public, and the man did nothing. And the woman from the background is saying, "And I said he's a real man." Well, the husband responds, "Well, don't try it with me because I'm not real. I'm not real at all." I'm sure you get the joke when you go grab a copy of the paper for yourself. It's always fun to read that piece. I don't know about you, Samson.
Yeah, cool. Comics are they're funny.
Yes, they are. They are meant to be. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. We're back again tomorrow morning at 8:30 to keep a date. My name is Felicity Ezewuike.